So, short little disclaimer before I start yapping about how merciful and awesome Jesus is. Not everything I talk about is going to be biblical, which I will label, so don't get the wrong idea here. A good amount of the stuff I research are apocryphal gospels and medieval literature, and it shouldn't be regarded as biblical, but I find them extremely cool, and I hope you do so as well. So, please don't blame me, my brothers in Christ. I'm not trying to start beef with y'all. So, you know how it goes in the Bible. The Pharisees capture Jesus and bring him to Pilate. Of course, Pilate takes a look at Jesus and goes, "Guys, what did he do wrong again? Also, my wife is telling me not to condemn him." To which, after lots of convincing from the Pharisees and their rioters, he decides to try his best card, to which he gets Barabbas, who by the way is a notorious criminal and murderer and might even be a terrorist, to put up against Jesus. Like, choose one to free and one to take out. And the crowd really was just hating hard, because they decided to choose Jesus over a murderer. Like, this got even more intense than ship wars. So Jesus unfortunately has to get tortured and dragged off to crucifixion. If you want to know how bad it is, go watch Passion of the Christ or Chosen when they finally crucify Jonathan Rumi. You do not want to go out like that. Part of the torture process is having Jesus carry his cross, which by all means is pretty heavy. And his cross even goes, "Jesus, I could have struck down your torturers. We're being way too out of pocket today." Mind you, this cross is created out of the trees of mercy that grew out of Adam's grave, literal mercy cross, and the literal embodiment of mercy has to be told by Jesus. Ayo, I know they're going on the sin grind with no chill, but just don't, please. Like, Jesus was being super merciful and forgiving. Yet, there were still some people who really wanted to test the Lord thy God. Now, some get better like Dismas, who after mocking Jesus in Matthew and Mark, has a change of heart that is shown in Luke where he repents and begs Jesus to remember him. However, there are some people who really want to keep pushing, like Cartaphilius and Kundry, but the biggest standout to me is Malchus. Malchus is the servant that Peter sliced the ear off and was about to smoke before Jesus lowbroed him and went, "Ayo, no, not cool, bad Peter, bad Peter," before doing Malchus a favor and healing him. However, even though Jesus straight up healed Malchus's ear, Malchus still hates Jesus. In fact, he was so huffed up on the haterade, he punched out all of Jesus' teeth during the Jesus torture section. Bro didn't even care that the guy he's punching is clearly not normal. Like, damn bro, you really on that Abba fatherless behavior today. And God goes, "Alright bozo, if you're going to be this much of a hater, you can go ahead and hate forever." To which Malchus is stuck underground in a small room, cursed with immortality, and can only spend his days raging then repenting until Jesus' second coming. Like, bruh, if you're still trying to violate someone even after you tried kidnapping him and he healed your wound while bailing you out from getting smoked, while being the most merciful person you have ever met in your life, yeah, you might need a few thousand years to reconsider all your life decisions up to this point. So, eventually, of course, Jesus gets nailed to the cross and dies, while Satan is off at the side going, "Good, good," probably thinking that it'll totally work out for him. We all know that this isn't the end, just wait it out for 3 days, but during that, there's something in Christian tradition called the Harrowing of Hell, which is basically the coldest part of the hardest redemption arc in history. And what exactly is the Harrowing of Hell, you might ask? It's basically Jesus breaking into hell for a showdown against little local Lucy. So, before he actually breaks in, when Jesus dies, simply the start of his triumph alone makes a huge light shine in hell. And for context, basically almost every major figure who's been faithful to God but died before Christ's sacrifice got stuck in hell. That includes David, Adam, pretty much everyone except for people like Elijah and Enoch, they got lucky. And when they see this rare instance of light in hell, they are going wild in the depths of hell, because they all know they are about to be broken loose. To which Beelzebub hits Satan up and goes, "Yo, loosey-goosey, the hell's going on in hell?" And Satan goes,
"Get ready to box Jesus, the guy who stole people from us recently. I already put up the cross and nails and spear to kill him. He's about to be our lapdog."
And Beelzebub goes,
"Hold up. This is the guy who stole people from us? That's crazy. He wasn't even here. Bruh, how we gonna fight him?"
Satan essentially replies,
"Nah, I'd win."
To which when Jesus is literally knocking on hell's door, which is far more reinforced than usual, Beelzebub tries to rally his troops like Erwin going, "My soldiers rage!" Instead, Jesus immediately breaks through the gates, gives Death straight up a major violation by steamrolling and trampling all over her. Like, for real. Jesus was so disrespectful towards Death here, just making her eat his boots and all. Like, if I were Death and I got done that bad, I'd hang up my sickles and just call it quits at this point. Meanwhile, all these raging demon soldiers don't even try to fight Jesus, they just go, nah, we're done, we're so screwed. To which, Beelzebub, after getting beaten by Jesus, has a crash out against Satan, like,
You idiot! You're trying to kill me, man!
and to rub salt in Satan's wound even more, Jesus grabs him and goes, alright, Satan, you want to be a fraud like that? Go and be Beelzebub's lapdog from now on. Jesus didn't even have to do Satan like that, yo. He already steamrolled off hell and is taking his people with him. But man, that extra disrespect is wild. So, with that, Jesus takes Adam and all the people stuck in hell who died following God and takes them off to heaven. So, the next time you hear someone go, oh, God's all love and mercy, just remember, true, but don't mistake mercy for weakness. Because mercy is what held the cross together, and mercy is what broke hell apart.